The beauty of Range Rovers is that they're the most practical, useful car ever built. Beautiful in two-door format, practical in four-door format, and there's everything for everybody, whether you want something that's old and traditional or whether you want something which is relatively modern. We can start with a bare chassis, which we take down to the nth degree. Every nut, every bolt is either refurbished or replaced. And from there, we move on to the shell, and the shell is completely butt welded. That's to say that there's no patch welding gone into this car. The problem the consumer faces when they're going to buy any classic Range Rover is one of corrosion. You look at the outside of this car, and on the surface, it's not bad. There's no major holes, it looks okay. But when you look inside, you can see the stories are massively different. We have corrosion, which is horrendous here, through the cell. But if we look at the back, we can see the evidence of patch welding, which has taken place. This particular car has had major corrosion in the floor. Okay, so we've replaced the whole of the rear cross member, together with the body mounts. The edges of the rear floor, which had corroded. The rear floor, we've made out a new panel across here and inverted this so it's correct. This side, we've replaced the metal here and underneath. We've cut out all of the corrosion back to good metal, and we're replacing it currently. Every time that a steel shell meets the outer body panel, we sandwich it with plastic or fibre washers to stop the electrolysis. Steel alley fibre washer to stop the thing corroding in the future.
And so on throughout the car then?
Yeah. This car is owned by the son of the original owner. The young man's 21 years old. It's being currently restored because it was his father's car, and it's got an emotional attachment all the way through the family. It's happy memories to him. So for his 21st birthday present, she's getting done up. So this has been apart fully, back to every single nut and bolt has either been replaced or refurbished. It's got a 4.8 litre high torque engine, so we're using the latest fuel injectors that we've developed. We call this a resto mod, so it's been restored, but it's also been modified. It's made in Audi Ibis white with high gloss detail, LED lights, our widened Rostar wheel, high level mirrors, retrimmed interior in Alcantara leather. Stunning to drive. It's better to drive than to look at.
Well, we'll find out soon.
Hopefully you will.
So here we are in the Kingsley modified Range Rover. What hasn't changed is this brilliant high up driving position. You see the road miles ahead. It's a bit of an old school driving position, but it's an old school car. The Range Rover was introduced in 1970, but this feels very much like a modern car. It's really taut. Whereas the original Range Rover had very sloppy steering because it's off-road heritage. This is really direct. Hopefully we'll get a few nice lanes to try it on later. It's certainly a million times better than the original Range Rover for driving on winding A roads. More direct steering, much better brakes. A lot less body roll thanks to the new suspension. We've also got new dampers as well. So the whole thing feels a lot more taut than the original. It looks fantastic from the outside. It gets a few stares from other drivers, and it sounds brilliant. The engine is Kingsley's uprated unit. Still has the base of the standard Rover V8, but it's enlarged. Special fuel injection as well, so it actually produces a lot more power, but also uses a lot less fuel, up to 50% perhaps. I love what they've done with the interior as well. It depends on your wallet, of course, but this one is their display car, and it's all been retrimmed in tan leather. This car has a really long-legged feel as well on the motorway. Sitting there at 70, it's only revving at 3,000 RPM. You really feel like you could drive it all day. The thing I like particularly about it is that with the rated suspension, brakes, steering, and not least the engine, it's a car you can use every day. It's got all the modern touches, it uses a lot less fuel than an original car. Is it the ultimate Range Rover? I think it is.